whenever you codify a principle, it already loses some of its expressive power. In the Bible, do you know? Have you read the Bible, studied it?
No.
Yeah, in the Bible.
But I might know. I know some things without having read it. But probably not everything.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But the Word here is capitalized, and people like naturally think that the Word somehow means the Bible, but that is not the thing here. The Word of God is the person of Jesus. So when God has his like Word, the Word is another person of Jesus. So when Jesus has his Word, which he does, and you write it to the Bible and codify it so that it will not be changed, like 2000 years ago, during that time after Bible was codified, it hasn't changed. People think that it has changed after the codifying, but my understanding is that no, it hasn't. And it has both good and like negative consequences. Because the Word, when it is codified, it loses its life. It becomes a kind of, it is not the living anymore. So if you want to get living Word out of the Bible or any of the holy writings, then the Word in the book must speak to you so that it becomes internalized in you. As long as you only read the Word, it doesn't open you up. You can read any word and be enlightened. If I say, read Värska springwater still, ilman mullita, if I pay attention to it and meditate upon it, it might give me enlightenment. Okay, let's try. What would I get? Like Värska, this place, the name, it has the energetic and like a connection to the word fresh. It even sounds like the same. I don't know whether it means that in Estonian.
Värske, yeah. Värske.
Yeah, so the place where it comes from, it is fresh. So obviously that is a desirable quality for water, that it is fresh. You don't want to have stale water. You want to have fresh water. And it is also spring water. So spring meaning the source. It is taken directly from the source. And obviously there are many advantages when something comes from the source, because then when you form the resonance between you and the message, if the message comes directly from the source, then nobody has like tampered with the message. So if you can resonate directly with the source, it's called channeling. The source is giving you the message and it resonates with you. Like the source is all the time giving us like download, but you are usually, like most of your time, you are out of tune. You are not in the flow, and the word that the source is giving to you doesn't resonate with you, so that's why you don't feel it. Some people have a lot of download when they are awake. They are channeling information from the source, but other people do it mostly when they are asleep and not conscious of it too much. There are also, like the reason why there is let's say mediated information that is not directly from the source, that has also like other advantages. It is not that everybody should all times directly work according to the source, or let's say this would be the so-called ideal state, but in practice we are like extremely far from it. So that's why we need mediated information also, so that, for instance, when I'm receiving this that I'm speaking directly from the source, and you guys are hearing it from me, so we are still operating at a pretty undiluted messages, because the source is number 0 and I'm number 1. And if you are looking into my eye and hearing it directly from me, it is a great likelihood that it is resonating with you strongly. And even though what I'm reading is only a random text that I'm using it as an example, it is being turned into a message because it comes from the source. So when this fresh spring water comes from the source, it is good stuff. When you see me doing things, I'm not doing things that are not like nonsensical. I actually do pretty high things. So when I do anything that I do, it has meaning, and it actually has many meanings. It is the meaning of every bird of mine is connected very much to the like planetary field of everything that is happening. So when I move my finger like this, it has a meaning. When people wave their hands like this, they don't have a meaning, and nobody gives a fuck. In addition, the water is still. What's the opposite of still?
Sparkling.
Yeah, exactly. And there are people who drink sparkling water. But actually, the kind of people who drink sparkling water, they are the people whose kind of nature is still. And the reason why they drink sparkling water is that they want to balance their polarized nature by taking in elements that have the opposite polarity. Yeah, and there are people whose nature is sparkling, such as me. So when I take in like any substances, including water is a substance, I typically want those to be still. Because if I add sparkling to my sparkling, which I have this tendency to exaggerate and to press on when the pedal is already halfway, it is more than likely that I want to press it full way. So when I start to drink sparkling, then things will happen. When I drink still, then things are still calm. Because in Estonian, still says ilma mullita. So what is mulli? How do you explain?
Like bubble. Mull is a bubble. So ilma mullita is without bubbles.
Yes. So I don't want, like when I'm giving a message, I don't want bubbles to my message. I want it to be without bubbles, so that the message is as kind of clean and still as possible, because in my feeling that gives better possibility for understanding it. Because there are times when I talk so that the talk is not a message. And there are times when I take in about 6 centiliters of pure alcohol, for instance, in the form of 1.5 shots of cognac or something. That, for me, kind of activates totally, well, not totally different kind, but distinctively different kind of mode of speaking, where I start to create bubbles, start to create ripples, start to brag about the magnitude of my thinking. So right now, when I create still channeling, the channeling doesn't have the, the taste of the vessel. It is channeling that when you hear, you concentrate on the message. You don't concentrate on me, the channel. But when I start to create bubbles, when I start to brag about myself, I'm not doing it in the way of channeling, but I'm adding the taste of vessel to it. I'm mentioning details about how I did this or did that, and using this as the kind of like part of the message, using example that comes from my life as part of the message that I am channeling. And again, I'm not saying that this is wrong or anything. It is just a different mode of operation. So Yes, it is possible to use anything as the kind of inspiration for your message, including Värska bottle.